Thank you. Now we are going to request respected Maulana Mubarak Ahmad Nazir Sahib, our missionary in charge, to please address us on the subject, which is a very important subject today, the concept of blasphemy. What is the Islamic perspective?
Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu amma ba'du fa'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim Bismillahir rahmanir الرحيم يا حسرة على العباد يا حسرة على العباد ما يأتيهم من رسول إلا كانوا به يستهزئون Mr. President and our honored guests, we were so honored that when most of you came over here, you said Assalamu alaikum. May peace and blessings of God be upon all of us. Can you imagine that even this word, Ahmadi Muslims in one country are not allowed to utter even this word of Assalamu alaikum. This is our plight. This is our difficulty. Ladies and gentlemen, thousands and thousands of prophets have come into this world to guide humanity. Their message was common. Belief in God, belief in the day of resurrection, the hereafter, the day of accountability, and encouraging people to do good and forbidding evil. But all the prophets who came into this world, thousands upon thousands upon thousands, who came to every nation, they were rejected. They were persecuted. They were ridiculed. They were scorned. Their followers were torn to pieces. Sometimes their flesh was torn from their bones. Never has a prophet ever been accepted. Blasphemy, blasphemed, ridiculed, jeered at, spat at, flogged. A crown of thorns was put on his head. Jesus Christ. Which prophet was accepted? And this verse which I have just recited, Ya hasratan alal ibad. Look at the pathos. As if God himself is in grief. Oh my creation. Alas, oh my creation, have I ever sent a prophet who was not ridiculed? starting from the Adam alayhi salam, and all the prophets were persecuted. Was the Prophet Abraham not thrown into the fire? Because of his belief in the unity of God? All prophets. What about Noah? God told him to build an ark. And they mocked at him and they laughed at him. The founder of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, also built an ark. In fact, he wrote a book called The Ark of Noah, Kashti-e-Nuh. He built that spiritual ark. And you and I sitting over here in this multitude, we are just a few. There are millions of Ahmadis all over the world who have taken shelter in this Ark of Noah, this spiritual Ark of Noah. What about the Prophet Nuh? What about Moses? Pharaoh had ordered that all male children should be killed. The people had predicted that a prophet is about to be born. And even before he was born, he said, let all the male children to be killed. It's a long story how God saved him. David, Solomon, name any prophet. Look at Jesus Christ, a noble prophet of God, who was not only ridiculed. You might have seen that film, and I was about to leave, but I just couldn't find the exit. When he was being flogged, when he was being tortured, when he was being spat at, when he was bleeding all over. This is the plight. What about the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him? He was also persecuted, molested. People were hounding after him to kill him off. They call these prophets liars. They call them poets. Sometimes they call them magicians. They call them a fraud. They call them businessmen who have got a business. They call them apostates. They give a verdict, an edict, that they deserve to be killed. Call them liars. This blasphemy, it's a pity, how unfortunate that the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat, Ahmadiyya Muslim community, whose prime objective is to show the pristine purity of Islam, to show the true face of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we are bogged down. We are either fighting and giving lectures upon the true meaning of the seal of the prophets. We have not finished that, and the question of jihad comes. The wrong interpretation of jihad, which has made Islam a laughing stock before the entire world. Which religion allows violence? They have totally forgotten the meaning of jihad. We have gone to countless symposiums and conferences where we try to show that real meaning of the word of jihad. And there is no conference which we go where people do not ask about jihad. These scholars, so-called scholars of Islam, they have done so much damage to Islam. Sometimes people believe, criticize the West and the media and this and this. It is the Muslims who give them that ammunition. They bring forth wrong interpretations of Islam, and this is how Islam is projected as a barbaric religion, as a religion of terrorists, as a religion of hijackers, suicide bombers. This is the picture that is painted on the canvas. We are engaged in the jihad of presenting the true picture of Islam. Hardly have we answered some of the questions on jihad. The question of blasphemy also comes up. Anyone in the penal code of Pakistan, in the constitution, who says any derogatory words against the Islam or its prophet is bound to be hanged, bound to be killed. You tell me, how many heads do we chop? The population of the world is about 7 billion now. 7 billion. Muslims all over the world are 1.5 billion. Maybe even slightly less. So does it mean that another 5 billion people, their heads have to be chopped because they do not believe in the Prophet? Because of civility, they do not say it openly that the Holy Prophet is a false prophet, but they are not Muslim, that is why, because they don't believe in him. How ridiculous, how wrong this notion that anybody who does not believe in the Prophet or who says something unkind, there is freedom of speech, will speak out. Are their heads going to be chopped? People speak against Islam, against the Holy Quran. Am I giving this speech because I'm asking you to help us to preserve the Holy Quran? There are people burning the Holy Quran. You had this burning ceremony in the United States. People burning the Holy Book. Have we put this topic on the table because we are asking for some help from our honorable guests? No. Inna nahnu nazzalna dhikra wa inna lahu lahafizun. God says in the Holy Quran that we have revealed this book. We will preserve it. Are we doing that? Are we asking that we want your help to save the Holy Prophet? No. The Holy Quran it is in the Holy Quran that God the Almighty has said in the Holy Quran that I will preserve you. We are only appealing to your conscience, to your inner conscience, that this is a blot on humanity. This is wrong. This doesn't appeal common sense. It doesn't appeal conscience. The Holy Quran says, La ikraha fi din. So we are only appealing that, you must have heard about the Danish cartoons. People make cartoons against the Holy Prophet. It injures our feelings. We love the Prophet far more than our parents. It hurts. It pains. But read the Holy Quran from the beginning to the end. There is no punishment prescribed in the Holy Quran for blasphemy. God says, I will deal with it. I will respond to that. So these people putting punishments and, Asiya Bibi, who is a Christian lady with 5 children, accused of blasphemy. She is languishing in the jail because she has been accused and she has been sentenced to death. We are embarrassed. This is not Islam. Well, who cares? More than 30 people have already been murdered who had been accused of blasphemy, but they had been freed by the courts. Who cares for the courts? You are declared innocent even by the court, and the moment you come out, it's a free for all. So many people have been killed. The governor of the most important province of Pakistan, the Punjab, Nazir, who only visited this lady in the jail, who said we should revisit this law because people are misusing it in order to gain people's property or in order to do other things. They misuse this law. Let us revisit this. We always, amend these laws. Let us revisit because of that. His own bodyguard killed him. And after killing him, the other bodyguard stood silent. And this murderer was not only declared a hero, but declared a saint. The minorities minister, who was a Roman Catholic, murdered in Quetta in broad daylight. Which religion allows that? What about the life of the Holy Prophet? What did he do? Was he not blasphemed? He used to go to the mosque and there was a lady who used to throw rubbish upon his head every time. And he would clean his head and wash his hair and go back to the mosque. The Holy Prophet found out that for 2 or 3 days she did not throw rubbish on his heads. He asked about her and they said the lady is sick. He went to see her. He said, Madam, you are not well. I just came to ask for your health. This is the reply of the Holy Prophet. Blasphemy. People threw the intestines of dead camels on the head of the Holy Prophet. They were hypocrites who were roaming in the streets of Medina, and one of the chief hypocrites once said that I am the best person in Medina, and I will drive out the worst man it is documented in the Holy Quran. What did the Holy Prophet do? The Holy Prophet, full of compassion, full of love. Look, it is this compassion of the Holy Prophet which has brought us together, and we are all enslaved. It is not the vindictiveness. It is his compassion, it is his love. This man, who was the chief of the hypocrites, was roaming in Medina and nobody touched him. In fact, his own son, who became a Muslim, once came to the Holy Prophet and said, O Prophet of God, allow me to kill my father for having blasphemed you, called you the worst person in Medina. Allow me to kill you. The Holy Prophet said, no, I do not allow that. When this man died, Abdullah ibn Salul, when he died, the Holy Prophet gave his own shirt as a burial shroud for this man. This is compassion. This is love for all, hatred for none. Hatu burhanakum in kuntum sadiqeen. O you the mullahs, O you the turban clad and those wearing long gowns, issuing edicts. Sometime against Salman Rushdie for the satanic verses, against members of our community, as we just heard, Jim. Well, last year 99 people of members of the Ahmadiyya community were butchered in cold blood while they were offering their prayers. You know, you see the video and you see that blood is splashed on the floors, but I do not understand why the blood and the parts of these martyrs was even sticking on the roof of those mosques. This is our plight. But we do not take the law into our own hand. The religion does not allow us to take the law into our own hands. The Holy Prophet did not do. The promised Messiah alayhi salam, he did not do that. There was a man who used to abuse him. He came to Qadian and he abused him. He constantly abused him for the whole night. In the morning, the promised Messiah said, this man who has been abusing me, he has lost his voice because of constant shouts and abuses. Make a cup of tea and hand it over to him so that his voice improves. This is compassion. We are not condoning, God forbid, blasphemy. What I am saying is that the punishment for blasphemy is in the hands of God. He says, I will take care of that. Do not worry about that. It's not in your hands. I will take care of that. I have sent these prophets and I will take care of that. Once the promised Messiah was in a court and the judge said, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, there is a prophecy I understand, Inni muhinun manarada ahanateka, that God says that I will disgrace anyone who disgraces you. Is that your prophecy? He said, yes. He said, the judge said, who was a magistrate, and at that time the British were in India, and the magistrate was the highest authority. And the magistrate said, if I disgrace you today in this court, will I be disgraced? The promised Messiah said, anyone. Anyone. He said, if I do it, he said, anyone. So those people who open their mouth and talk against the prophets of God, and maybe they are Christian or Hindus or Buddhists, let people worship the stone. Let them worship fire. Let them worship the cow. Let them worship the moon. Let them worship one God. Let them worship Jehovah, Lord, Krishna, Vaheguru. It is their prerogative. The day of judgment, God will judge. Why do you become the master of the day of judgment? Allow people to do whatever they want to do. God will take care of that. So it's extremely painful. It's extremely embarrassing that we should stand over here and defend Islam, not from the West, not from the media, but from our own people, who give wrong interpretations and present Islam as a religion of terrorists. It's a terrible religion. Look, if this was Islam, luckily this is not Islam. God forbid if this was Islam, then I declare that I am not that type of Muslim. Hazrat Masih Maud has said, गुल मचाते हैं कि मैं काफिर हूं और दज्जाल हूं, मैं तो खुद रखता हूं इनके दी से और ईमान से आर. I also hate their religion. They shout at the top of their voice that I'm an apostate and I'm a kafir and I'm an infidel. The fact is that I also hate. I'm not a part of that faith. Islam is a religion of peace, is a religion of love, is a religion of affection, is a religion of brotherhood, is a religion that we all try to find out from other religions what is good in their religion. We hold countless conferences, you must have heard, symposiums, we provide a forum to the Hindus, to the Sikh, to the Christian, to the Jews. Let us come forward, let us find out. Truth is not the monopoly of any religion. Find out what is better. We will present the Islamic view as well. Everybody believes that my view is the best. Let the people judge. And let me say that we have a short time to live in this world. We are guests on this planet. How long? If not today, tomorrow. We all have to go to our graves. Why show any vindictiveness? Why show any hatred? We're all human beings. Forget about the pigment of my skin or the accent that I have. We're all the children of God. What blasphemy? One should never abuse the prophets of God. One should never abuse the elects of God. Hazrat Masih Maud has said in one of his poems, Allah dushmane nadan bera, batarsas teg burane Muhammad. O you, the perverted enemy of the Holy Prophet, you should be afraid of the spiritual sword of the Holy Prophet. The prophets of God are the lions of Allah. If you do not believe in them, then keep quiet. But do not talk ill of the prophets of God. Maybe the Buddhist or the Christian or the Hindu or the Sikh or the Muslim. That is why Hazrat Masih Maud has said, Ambiya se bughz bhi hai ghafilo acha nahi. Ambiya se bughz bhi hai ghafilo acha nahi. Dur tar hat jao isse hai ye sheron ki kachar. He said, oh you the heedless, do not harbor any rancor, any enmity against the prophets of God. Keep away from them. If you do not understand, keep quiet. Because they are a den of lions. They will pounce upon you, the spiritual den of lions. The promised Messiah has said that I can compromise with the scorpions, I can compromise with the cannibals, with the snakes, with the lions, but I can never compromise with people who abuse the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, if my limbs are cut off, if my children are massacred before my eyes, if I am deprived of all my desires and all my emotions, in fact, he said, if my eyes are gouged out, that will not be as painful as it is when I hear people abusing my master. So while we speak against blasphemy, not only against the Holy Prophet, but also against all prophets of God the Almighty, at the same time we again say that the punishment for blasphemy is in the gracious hands of God. May the Lord richly bless you, and we are highly honored that you're all here and you have said such beautiful things. and you stick your neck out. We are people who were driven away from our homes. You opened your arms and you received us. You think we love this country only because it's the best country of the world? Only because it's the most secure country of the world? Not only that. We love this country because the Holy Prophet said so. Our religion said so. Love of your homeland is part of your faith. So keep this in mind. I do not need to emphasize this again and again. We are the most peaceful community. We are the most law-abiding community. We are a community who knows how to cooperate, how to obey. This is there in the Holy Quran. This is there in the teaching of the Holy Prophet. It is there in the teaching of the promised Messiah. May the Lord richly bless you. May Allah Ta'ala reward you abundantly. And may Allah Ta'ala grant you health, long life. And may Allah Ta'ala help you that you should consider once in a while that we should love all prophets of God. We should love all the revealed books of God. Look, I have studied the Bible along with the Holy Quran. And many times, not once, not twice, many times I have shed tears at reading some chapters of the Bible. May God bless you. Assalamu alaikum.
Islam Ahmadiyya Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa Mohsen Insaniyat Khatamul Anbiya Ghulam Ahmad ki Khulafai Ahmadiyya Khilafat Ahmadiyya Hazrat Amir